Hi, good evening guys. Welcome to Mel and Jess Kitchen. So this is our second video that we are doing today. Okay, so today I'm going to be making mutton sambal, or more known as mutton perotel to some people, and also if English term will be dry mutton, chili mutton. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the ingredients that I'm going to be putting in this boiling water here. This is to boil the mutton first before we make the sambal. This is so that the mutton is very moist and it's really very juicy and it's not very tough when you are eating it. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to be putting some ginger inside. Okay, you can use how much of ginger. It depends on how much of mutton you're using. Today I'm using half kg mutton, so I'm going to be putting just about 3 or 4 not very thin slices but a bit thick slice of ginger, and then I'm going to be putting in some candle nuts, or known as I'm actually not very sure what you call it in Malay. And next I'm going to be putting in just a little bit of garlic cloves. Here I have about 6 or 7 of garlic cloves. If you have bigger cloves, then you can lessen it. If your cloves are small, just like mine, then you can put more depending on how much of mutton you're going to be cooking. And then next, lastly, as you can see, I've put in just a little bit of spices, which is bunga cengkeh and a bit of cloves inside there. Alright, so now I'm going to be putting in my spice. This is my spice that I'm going to be putting in. We have cumin seed, fennel seed, a little bit of turmeric, and this is the garam masala right here. Alright, so I'm using actually 2 spoons of each, 2 teaspoons. Sorry, okay, I'll show you my teaspoon. I'm using this kind of just teaspoon. So I'm putting 2 of each of the spice. Right, everything goes in. Now I'm going to be putting in my mutton. Okay, as you can see, I have half a kg of mutton here that I've cut up into small pieces. I cut it up into small pieces so that it's actually easier to cook, rather than you just put in big chunks inside. But like I said, it depends on everyone's preferences. If you prefer it big, then go ahead. If you prefer it small, then you can cut it up. Or you can ask your butcher to cut it up, because you buy this in the market. I don't usually buy from shopping malls because they don't have fresh meat. Okay, so this is going to boil until it's tender. For me, I prefer, usually I see if it's tender, I will just take it out. But if you are new to cooking and you don't know, you can actually look at the meat. When the meat is really, it looks very moist and it looks very soft, you can actually touch it and try the texture. If it's really soft, then your mutton is actually cooked. But if my mom, she will usually cook this for about 1 hour plus, or maybe 2, but not more than 2 hours. So I'm just going to be using the rice cooker because gas is expensive these days. Hi guys, welcome to Mel and Jess Kitchen. So today, as I said just now, I'm going to be doing dry mutton sambal. So here I already have oil in the pan, and I'm just going to put a little bit of ghee, just about 1 teaspoon of ghee. It depends on your preference. If you would like to put more ghee, you can do so. If not, you can just follow the recipe, which is 1 teaspoon. Alright, since the oil is getting a bit hot now, I'm going to be putting in my spices. These are the spices that I'm going to be putting in all together. For the cumin seeds and also the fennel seed, I've already pounded it in the mortar and pestle. So if you can do that. I have lemongrass, pandan leaf, that's going in. Alright, here I have onion paste that I pounded myself. This is ginger and garlic paste that I also pounded. So we're going to fry this until it's really nice and fragrant. I fried it for about just 2 to 3 minutes until everything is really blended in. Now I'm going to be putting my sliced onions. So I'm putting 2 types of onion because I just want a texture and things like that. This is my grandmother's recipe, so I just follow what my grandmother says. So yeah. Now I'm going to be adding in some diced tomatoes. I'm using about 1 big tomato. If you can't find 1 big tomato in the market, you can use 2 tomatoes if you like, or 1.5, depends on how much of mutton you have. This is going to be frying for about maybe 2 to 3 minutes before I add in my other ingredients. So this has been frying for just a few minutes, for about 1-2 minutes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding my dry chili here. I have some dry chili that I've blended, dry chili paste. So I'm just going to be adding just a little bit. Alright, so this is about 3 big teaspoons that I'm adding in. So I'm going to fry it for a while so that the chili smell will come out and it won't smell so raw. Okay, I'm going to be frying this for about 20-30 seconds, because after this the chili paste will have to cook. Alright, so now I'm going to be adding in the mutton that I've boiled just now. So as you can see, the texture of the mutton, see, it's very soft and easy to just tear out and eat. So that is how you want the mutton to be boiled. Alright, so just mix him up nicely like that. I'm using a high heat because I want everything to be coated in well. If you use a low heat, you know, there won't be any, it won't be very nice. Alright guys, so now, just now this is the mutton water that just now we have boiled. So I'm going to add this in. It will give extra depth and flavor. Right, so now we just mix it in nicely. Alright, so this is the stock that I put in with my mutton, and this you will have to cook it until it renders down, until it's very thick. So I'll show you how it is, and I'll keep you in the process. So I'm just going to be boiling this in high heat until it becomes thick. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be putting in my coconut milk. I'm using 1 ringgit coconut milk. You can use maybe half of this depending on how much of mutton you have. So for half a kg of mutton, I'm using 1 ringgit, which is 1 packet. Maybe it's about 200 ml. Alright guys, so let this render down and boil until it's really thick and nice, and then it's ready to be eaten. Thank you for watching Mel and Jess Kitchen. Hi guys, so with the dry chili mutton, we also need something that will enlighten our mouth and our palates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a mixed vegetable with mayonnaise. Alright, this is actually very simple. You can just use any household item. It's similar to a raita, but raita they use what we call it curd or either yogurt, but I'm going to be using mayonnaise because that's the only thing I have in my house. If you want to use the yogurt, you also can do so. It's the same, similar that what I'm going to do is just that instead of putting in mayonnaise, you put in the yogurt. Alright, so next I'm going to be using my spice. This is a very useful spice. It's actually just lemon zest and also a little bit of chili powder. So I'm going to be putting in about just 2 teaspoons like that. Alright, it depends. If you want it to be even more spicier, you can use your own kind of spice. Next, I'm going to be putting in some black pepper. Alright, just a little bit of black pepper. We don't want to overpower it. Alright, so I'm just going to mix this nicely. If you want to add in a little bit of vinegar or lemon juice, you can do so. I'm not adding in because my mom has gastric, so I won't be putting it. But if you would like to put in, you can do so. So now I'm going to be putting in my chopped shallots. You can also put some chopped chili if you want, like chili padi or whatever kind of chili you have. Alright, and then next, my cucumber, which I've diced. I've taken out the seeds of the cucumber because the seeds will make it a little bit watery, so I don't like the watery kind of texture. So I've taken that out. And lastly will be my chopped carrots. Sorry. Alright. So you can just mix this and put it inside the fridge. You know, you can keep it for 2 to 3 days, but not more than that. It will become very soggy and watery. Alright guys, so you can add in a little bit of salt or a little bit of sugar to your own taste. I'm going to be adding in a bit of salt later on. Besides that, you can also add in you know, lemon peel or anything to make it a bit fragrant, but since I don't have that, I'm not going to be adding in, but you can do so. So that is all guys.